Good morning, Your Honor. Jill Bauer here, after Mr. Hyman, who was also present.
All right. All right, go ahead and see. Motion.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we've motioned the court to set aside the judgment that was issued on March 15th and to dismiss the case for lack of jurisdiction based on the CARES Act requirement that Mr. Hyman be given a 30-day notice before any action can be taken against him. And I know the court is very familiar with the CARES Act.
And then whether or not it's waived, because I don't consider it jurisdictional, but you haven't raised this before now, correct?
In this case?
Yes.
No, Your Honor. I did not just, I stepped into this piece of Mr. Hyman's case. I was handling his voucher termination, and I stepped into this case to cover the court hearing. And then after reviewing the documents, I discovered the CARES Act issue and filed this motion. So, but I did cite law that said that I know the court said you don't consider it jurisdictional, but
I don't consider it jurisdictional. I consider it realistically to be an affirmative defense, which if not waived.
Well, we presented it as jurisdictional and also case law that says it can be jurisdictional. Arguments can be raised at any time.
Correct, but I don't consider it jurisdictional because the state statute confers jurisdiction on this court. The plaintiff complied with the state statute. The court has jurisdiction. The question is to the length of the notice in this court's mind is an affirmative defense that can be raised, but if it's not raised timely, it's then waived.
Well, I would respectfully
disagree. I know.
Disagree.
I know. Anything for the plaintiff?
No, Your Honor. The only thing that I would add is that it's the Arbor One West is not a covered property under the CARES Act in any event. But no, I'm just respectfully requesting you deny the motion.
And Your Honor, if I could just briefly respond to that. The Register of Deeds described the mortgage property, the mortgage that I provided. It said that it clearly included the city side, not the township side. And so I'd like the plaintiff to produce proof that mortgage has been superseded by another mortgage that's not federally backed. And then I'd like to also assert that because they accept.
Well, isn't that your burden? Why are they producing it?
Well, Your Honor, I produced what was filed with the Register of Deeds that appears to show that it's covered property.
Your Honor, this is, excuse me, because I can just short circuit this, and I apologize because I filed this affidavit at 5 o'clock yesterday, but what defendant's counsel attached was for the wrong property. And so, but this is all moot based on the court's finding that this isn't a jurisdictional issue, but just for clarity, that was Arbor One West, which she attached to her motion. I mean, excuse me, Arbor One, not Arbor One West, the exhibit. So
She attached Arbor One and not Arbor One West.
Correct.
And Arbor One West is not a covered property.
Correct.
Your Honor, I would just argue, as I did in the motion, that we can accept Section 8 vouchers. That's another basis through the CARES Act for a property to be determined to be a covered property.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
The motion to set aside the judgment and dismiss the case is denied.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
I'll prepare an order to that effect and email it to the court yet today.
Good morning, Your Honor. Carissa Gazzari, and my client is here as well.
All right. Your name?
Wrong.
All right. Where are we on this case?
Questions. We haven't been able to reach a resolution as of yet. Mr. Adams, at the last hearing, indicated that the repairs were not completed to his satisfaction. He said he was going to send me a video. I understand the video was too large to send. Maintenance tried to reach out to Mr. Adams to do an inspection. Sounds like they may have had a different phone number for him. So they haven't been able to go in. He has provided permission to enter today between 1 and 4. And also provided just a blanket permission to enter, which is going to be really helpful to get the, to have maintenance go in and inspect. The issue that we have is, I think Mr. Adams does not dispute the rent and utilities, but he's disputing late fees and court costs. And from plaintiff's position is that work orders, the last work order was submitted in November and it was closed, and then the last that they heard of any issue was in March. So that's plaintiff's position.
Well, my position is I shouldn't have had to go through the extremities of having to come to court twice to get, I'm living with a lot of mold. I showed them the video just as like a little portion of it, and it's horrible. And if you're waking up every day and living with it, it's dangerous to live with. And I've been telling them about this for over a year.
But they were trying to get into your apartment.
This is since the court proceedings has been going on. This is like the last couple weeks they said that, and they've always had permission to go in because they've been going in my apartment for anything else. They just went into they called and went into my apartment on March the 14th. Court was 15th. They said they can't get in contact with me. They was able to get in contact with me the day before court and miraculously come in there and do just a little strip of what I had a video of. That's the only thing they did. My thing is when it's mold, they will have to, it's a small section, a tub flooded up over my apartment. So that whole ceiling has got water damage that is just popping out like potholes of mold. And it was over in the corner, it was in the middle, and it was in the right. What happened is I could show you the video, Your Honor. I don't know how I would do that. I could, but it peeled back what they spray painted, and you can just start seeing the mold again. And they just came and repaired where you could see it again.
But they were trying to get in to do repairs.
They just been trying to get in to do repairs since we went to court on March the 15th. They said just since March the 15th that they were trying to get in to do repairs. When we went to court March the 15th, they said since then, we went to court March the 14th, and they was able to get in contact with me and go.
Well, you were here March 8th.
Oh, what was that, March 8th that we was here? What was the March?
Then you were here on the 15th.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. On the 14th, they called me on the 14th, the day before court, like 4 o'clock to 4 o'clock. He called me about, can we come in right quick and do the repairs? Because they hadn't been trying to get in contact with me before. And they said they didn't have the information, but they had it the day before court, 16 hours before court, they had it.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I guess, are they going to get in today?
Yeah, they always had permission. They've been going into my apartment forever, doing all types of things.
I just want to clarify something for the record, is that when we were here, it was me that was here on March 8th, and I asked you if there was permission to enter, and you said no, but we negotiated a time at that hearing. They would come in at 4 o'clock to do the repairs. That was not, I specifically asked you if they had
I said, I'm going to go home.
No, that's, and I'm going to tell you, that's exactly what my notes indicate. My notes indicate there was a maintenance meeting at 4 p.m. that day.
I met them home because I lived, Glencoe was right across the thing. They said, can we come in today? I said, yes. That's exactly what was asked is, can we come in?
Sir,
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, what Ms. Gazzari is indicating was what the court has its notes. There was a maintenance meeting at 4 p.m. on the 8th.
And they came that day. On the 8th, they came that day, and that's when he came and seen all the mold on the 8th. My video was timestamped for the 8th. He was there on the 8th. I showed him that on the 8th, and then he called me again. He didn't call me back until the 14th, the day before court. He called me back and said, can we come do the repairs today? They came and did them. They never came back since then. And he's saying that they couldn't get in contact with me. They never attempted to. They had permission. They always could come in. That's not a problem.
I just want, Your Honor, sorry, just to clarify one more thing. So then we were back in court after the repairs were done. And my understanding was that everything was done. I had pictures from my client and you said, no, I'll send you a video. And you sent me an email. That's why we adjourned. Set a settlement conference. But the email that you sent me said the video was too big. I can't send it. And that was the last I heard from you.
Yes.
And then they tried to contact you, but apparently there was some miscommunication as to your phone number. But that's
Okay.
Usually
So they're going to go in today Is that the deal?
Yes.
And they can come in whenever they want to fix that mold, just put that on court rate, they have standard permission to come in.
Okay, that's what's happening today to accomplish the repairs. I'll adjourn this to April 30th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Your Honor, how much is an escrow right now, if you don't mind?
In escrow, I have a total of $25.